There is a nation that looks from below, under the surface of what you choose to know. They look up and they expect to gaze back, but most never look down and they choose to look past. You probably don't even know we exist. This is the hidden world, the lost kids, the hurt children, the real souls, the ones that try to make up their beds from burnt coals, the defeated, the ones cheated, the ones that try to stand up but their strength is depleted, and they've seen their fair share of what we call true evil, confide in the secret safe place for the feeble. For lack of a better term, they're real people. They congregate together under the fierce steeple, and no one even knows they're here. So come closer, draw near. Last year, a guy died at my school. Ignored by most, they didn't think he was cool. I went to his funeral. Not many were there. He wasn't very known, so most people didn't care. They held a vigil, spoke of how he was adored. But we could have done more if we had just been there before. I wish I had been there before. He was driving, maybe too fast. He hit another and it shattered the glass. I tried to imagine what it could have been like to feel, but he probably felt nothing. He was dead at the wheel. So I sat there among some of his peers, our cheeks red with the sting of our tears. I look around at the sorrowful few. I start to think if there was more I could do. I know a guy who has a secret inside, but he keeps it buried and he chooses to hide because he knows if he told that no one would believe him. He was hurt by a woman, so he curses at Eden. This girl manipulated him like a game, used his past and fed on his pain, locked them all up for her personal gain, and then reached in and ripped out all his personal space and took his innocence and his soul, and then she ran away. But let me explain just exactly what happened on that day. She abused him. There's no point in not saying the truth. Guys can get raped just like girls have been too, and it's sad to be said, but even sadder when true, that this guy feels trapped and doesn't know what to do. Because he knows if he told anyone what happened that night, they would tell him to grow up and go get a life, because sex is something you should want, right? He didn't want it until he found his wife. And now he will tell her on the day that they meet that his virginity was stolen. He'll say filled with hate. She locked the car door so he couldn't escape. Then she said if he told, he would soon meet his fate, because she had blackmail against him to prove it was great. But it's not true. The false picture she paints, it's all lies! I bet she forgets all the tears in his eyes as she preyed on the weakness she placed deep inside. And the worst part is, he isn't the only guy whose past is so broken and littered and dragged. But no one believed him. Not even his dad. I know a girl who avoids all the mirrors, and she walks swiftly by them to ignore all her features, and she sees the best in everyone else, but she only sees the worst when she examines herself, and society doesn't help! with their broken standards of how she should look. The world breaks her. It's her will it has took. Her foundations of joy, how swiftly were shook as she cries in the night, pages torn from the book. And this book tells her that she is wonderfully made, but she doesn't believe what is scribed on the page. And the things men have told her have left her all torn, but most men get standards from hours of porn. So she steps on the scale and she accepts her defeat. She goes days upon days, never choosing to eat. And the lines on her arms show the scars that cut deep. And the blade in her drawer that she chooses to keep. She keeps it as a way to control all the feelings she has. If I just cut once more, maybe these feelings will pass. And it all traces back to one simple joke years ago when her friend didn't think when she spoke and she called her fat. And it was one simple joke. Well, it's too late now. She hangs limp from a rope. Her fake friends and their families grieve momentarily as her real ones can't find a way to cope. In her room, as her parents sit in and they cry. How could this happen? My daughter has died. And believe me, I'm not one to promote suicide. So carefully, I will not glorify how she died. But it could have been stopped. And she could have been helped if we had just took some time from our very busy lives to pay attention to this girl's mental health. But these stories, all three, they have deeply burdened me. Because I know deep down that I could have helped too. But I didn't act on what I knew I should do. But we can stop this. And we can change this. We can make the steps in our mind to rearrange this. If we just make a change, try to focus on the pain, deep in our hearts, we can truly find a way to defeat this. And I have seen this, and I believe it. We can truly wake up and release it, but we'll have to put down our phones, open up our homes, and make it more known that there's people who need this. Will you choose to stand together with me? And shout till our sounds break the surface world sleep. And maybe for once they'll look down at our nation and we'll join together as one true creation. But until then, we'll march with all that we have. We'll march forward as an army, not a phase, not a fad. And we will ignite our steps and our footprints will graph as the army grows bigger and blazes the path. But we will not be broken, and we will not be silenced. We will not be stopped by the enemy's violence. We will reach for help. We will take the time to step away from ourselves. We will fight the storm. We will ride as one. We will break the chains. We will not be undone. And the guns and the bullets that have made us all run, we will look at our hands as we have the same ones, and we'll fire them back as we fight our own minds, because we know that our truth is one deeply defined. Know that you are my people and you are my kind. We are truly the heroes that will realign all the pain and the brokenness, all the tears and the hopelessness, all the late nights and the hard fights and the far cries and the harsh lights and ourselves. And ourselves. Listen to me. You are seen. You are worthy. You're a king or a queen, and we will sing about you for ages and ages to come. the hidden world is truly united as one.